Scott, great to have you back on again. Amazing. Yesterday, Facebook was the end of the world. The stock market was at zero. People are crying in the streets. Today, Amazon ready to give it all back. I mean, what was the most impressive thing to you about Amazon's numbers?
Oh, gosh, I lay it in three places, honestly. You have the North American business. Looks like they're going to come down an investment cycle. So you're going to really see the profits go higher. And they talked about that on their earnings call. The second thing, obviously AWS just continues to just crush it. Massive growth, and the growth trajectory there looks really solid. And the final thing is something you pointed out, the Rivian stake. We call it the Kraken. I mean, Amazon has so many tentacles and so many different businesses. We think the sum of the parts here is actually well above where it even will open today. I would say $4,000 to $5,000 a share is easy with all the pieces inside that company.
Yeah, what is it? Release the Kraken, right? I mean, that's it.
Exactly.
By the way, should Amazon, if Rivian stock, I know you're not a Rivian analyst, or maybe you are, I don't know, Scott, soared at the IPO. It's down over $100 a share. The stock's been all over the place, but there's a lot of optimism around the company. Would now be a good time for Amazon to sell that stake, or should they keep it?
Well, I mean, I think on a broader perspective, I'm not going to tell them what to do on one stock or not, but I think on a broader perspective, if they think of shareholder value, the company's got to start thinking about, as you said, unleashing the Kraken, unleashing some of these pieces to increase shareholder value. I mean, the thing that gets talked about always is, spinning off AWS. They've kind of tapped that down, but it's always a possibility. But, you go into a Best Buy, for instance, and they made an announcement with Best Buy that AWS is going to be their provider on the cloud. But you walk through a Best Buy, 7 displays are Amazon. So they're huge in devices, they're huge in AI, they're huge in robotics. They have a pharmacy business attached to it. So there's just a lot of different pieces here. And eventually we think you may see something like AT&T where the thing just kind of breaks up a little bit. I mean, we didn't even talk about the big distribution and logistics company they have, state of the art. So, I mean, there's just a lot of value inside this company that is likely to be unleashed to shareholders over time.
Let's talk about this Prime price hike because, just as a consumer, I've thought time to time about, is it worth it, right? You pay the $99, then the $119, it's now going to $139, and you're thinking, okay, could I do better somewhere else? I never price shop on Amazon. Are they going to lose anybody, or is Amazon, in your mind, Scott, just basically a public utility at this point, and people are going to pay the increase and move on and not even think about it?
It's funny. So R5's a research and consulting firm on consumers. So we've done a lot of research on the value of a Prime membership. It's sky high. But your point is actually really interesting about being a utility. And what they're doing, especially in North America, I think they're going to 24 markets that are going to be 5 hours or less of delivery. Unmatched logistics. It's a need to have, not a want to have. I know there was an article recently talking about, hey, how do you lose your Prime membership? After I read that, I was like, why would you want to lose your Prime membership? It's got an amazing amounts of value for the consumer. They'll probably lose some people. I think anytime you put a price increase like that through, you do shed a few customers. But in the end, the value of a Prime membership is really significant. And they can do things other companies just can't do. A couple million items to your house in 24 metro markets in North America in 5 hours or less. And that's the bottom line. And so we do look at it as a little bit of a utility. Yeah. And in fact, we wonder if the government will start to look at it as a little bit of a utility over time too, just because it's a building monopoly, right? They're going to spend $60 billion at least again in CapEx. A lot of that's going to go to AWS, but still in the U.S. they've doubled their square footage and their distribution. We all see those little Amazon trucks running around. So in effect, it's kind of the modern day mailman. It's kind of how we would phrase it.